team. What's happening? It's your boy Big 30, the truth, the truth, all time, whole truth, nothing but the truth. What up, champs and chums? Welcome. As I said, I'm here to help you with your fantasy football team. So, we've been a rundown. I had my boys with me last night. We did a rundown of the tight ends, top 10 listed tight ends. They threw a couple sleepers in there today or tonight, rather. I'm gonna be hitting y'all over the head with the running backs, wide receivers, and sleepers on that tier. But first, you can't see the steam coming out of our heads. I say our because it's collective. There's a collective group of people that root for the navy blue and silver team that are just like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? I feel like Steven and Jerry are just playing games that they say, okay, look, we're gonna go get Pickens, and how can we piss off the fan base more than Nico? They probably called Nico. Hey Nico, what can we do to top what you from the general management side? It's coming from Micah's side, and it's well deserved. I mean, we've been going over this for how long? How long are we gonna have to deal with this? Jerry play around. Now, this very well may be a play out of the Myles Garrett playbook. You know what I'm saying? Might just be going out here, making his threats. Even if it is out, this is ridiculous. How bad do you feel like you need to be in the spotlight? How bad do you feel like you really, really need your team always to be there? And why does it have to be from a negative point of view? Like, why can't the Cowboys come at the United States of America as American team from a positive point of view, positive perspective? It's always something negative. I mean, he's got the best agent in the game, and you won't talk to him. Why aren't you talking to that? No sense. It's the person that's sitting there. They are the person that is hired to talk to you because the person that they're representing knows that you're going to try and fuck them. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? Like, that's why I had to get into this before I got over this fantasy stuff. Like, yes, I am going to get you right. We're going to get you set up. Your fantasy team's going to be perfect. I got a fantasy draft tomorrow. I'm going to stream for y'all. Y'all can see it live so y'all can see how it gets done. And I might briefly go over a couple different fantasy tactics that you may want to use. Not really go into detail, but just position, and how to, maybe randomize and how to keep yourself, keep your opponents on their toes, rather. But going through the time of events, let's just go through the timeline of events that what happened. Like, first and foremost, you got Micah reaching out. So he's reaching out knowing that this is going to get ugly. Like, this is someone that knows, okay, I see what happened to other players on my team. I see how we rocking. I'm going to go ahead and reach out, have my team reach out first, and we're going to try to, we're going to try to nip this in the butt. Tells his agent, David Mulgeta, tells his agent, and he's like, agent, of course, says, no, bro, you need to wait. Let this build up. And you want to become, the highest paid at your position. That's what you want to do. Mike is like, I just want to solidify myself as a Cowboy. See, he was still in love at that point. See, that's where you're messing up, Jerry Jones. Like, when you got these players on these rookie deals, and they've had some success, and they down with the fan base, you don't mess it up. You don't step in the way. You get it done early because they're giving you a discount because, one, you've already changed their life, like, in a way. You know what I'm saying? Well, you have. By drafting them, getting them on your team. So they're giving you that first discount. But every time someone comes up, and we have such a great scout team that are actually cold. My day. At the end of the day, I think everybody should take a couple steps back and realize that this is the same play Myles did, but at the same time, he giveth, it may not be up to him. Like, sometimes you play with the wrong people, and you might have played with the wrong one. See, like, he already was about to give you a discount and lose millions of dollars in the first place. And now you think that a bag of money is going to save you. And it may not. We hope it does as fans. If we lose Luka and then Michael Parsons in back-to-back years, what have we done? We ain't even get nothing. We won the World Series. See, I knew it. That's what it is. That's the dark cloud. The sports guys gave us that. We didn't even want it. Look, ever since they won, shit been happening. It's terrible after terrible after terrible. We're not even gonna get into that. We're just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna say before I get into these, like Jerry and Steven, and you know what I say, Jerry, but let's just say the Joneses, because it's him and his son. It's him and his son. We're dealing with we're dealing with two individuals that just like have to cause a media ruckus. They have to they just don't like ice skating uphill is one of my favorites. They just some people just like to ice skate uphill. It's just crazy to me. I don't understand why I don't understand why they're like this. I wish they wouldn't be like this, and I hope that they get that man signed. This is I'm trying to think, and you can you know what I'm saying, of course, like, comment, above all else, subscribe, dog. But you can, because you're late night fantasy. It's the football. Tell me it's the football, late night football fantasy. Subscribe to it. Even though we're talking about Micah right now. But is this? I just you can put in the comments. You can hit me up. Chat, people watch this know me anyways. Is this the worst handling of a superstar player in the history of the NFL going into the second contract? I think it may be. I think it may be. You know what I'm saying? Because you got. It's not like he had any problems. He wanted to be here. He wanted to be a part of the team, and it's just you're just pushing people away. You're pushing people away, and you're ruining the season before it even starts. Even if we get signed, he gets his bag of money. He no longer wants to win for Jerry Jones. He's playing for himself, his family, and his teammates. He no longer really wants to win for the star on the side of the helmet. He would want to win because CD wears a star on the side of his helmet. And that's a totally different type of, you know what I'm saying, want. So I hope they get him. I hope they get him signed. I hope they get him taken care of. And let's move forward to these top 10 wide receivers, running backs. I may throw a couple sleepers in there. Really, I just got one guy. No, I got a couple. But I want to go ahead and get into these because I want to get this on wax. I want to make sure you get the top 10s out and help people, because I know there's people out there that have trouble with fantasy. I know people out there that play against fantasy gurus all the time. And sometimes it can start with the top 10s, but you can grow with sleepers, and you can figure out along the way, and that's what we're here to do, is help you figure that out along the way. So without further ado, what I'm going to give you is a correlated list. Now again, this has been correlated with a lot of analytical data, a lot of stats, a lot of film, a lot of commentary. Now I will tell y'all a quick secret, since no one's watching. So a quick secret: what you never want to do is go back more than like 3 years. When you're looking up stats, data, and you're trying to predict future trends, and picking these different players, you never want to go too far back because the name can deceive you. So I always 2 years really. I like to look at the last 2 years, see what we're going with the last 2 years. You want to pay attention to coaching changes, because coaching changes, that can change the amount of times you get the ball thrown to you, get the ball handed off to you. I think we're doing running backs first, so we'll say handed off to you. Red zone plays. If you play with a guy like Jalen Hurts, if you play with a guy like Josh Allen, different things like that. So, but I will say some guys, especially when if you're building running back heavy, or just building in general, if you're building smart, I mean, you're gonna try to have one heavy hitter, and you're gonna try to have one guy that can produce. That's gonna be, you want consistency all around, like we were talking about last night, but you really want a heavy hitter, and you want another guy that's gonna produce, and he may end up being a guy that plays with a supreme quarterback. But when quarterbacks have good running backs, the good quarterbacks use their good running backs in all various situations. So we're gonna go. I guess we'll go 10 through 9 because, like I said, it's just me. It's not a bunch of back and forth and commentary gonna go down. I'm just gonna give you these 10, and then we're gonna talk about some sleepers, and then because these 10 are gonna be pretty obvious. And then we're gonna talk about sleepers. But when it comes to running backs, it can be argued, whether you got your running backs as the best fantasy players or your receivers. The main point is make a decision. So if you're going to be weighted with running backs, be weighted with running backs. If you're going to be weighted with receivers, then be weighted with the receivers. Never try to juice the draft and get the best of everything, because something bad's going to happen. That's just in general when you're picking. So it's really, really important when you're team building. Don't try to hit the lottery. Just draft well, and you'll come out on top more often than not. So we're gonna start with number 10 is Derrick Henry. Now this again, Derrick Henry, run heavy, Baltimore offense. Now I will say you may think he may come in a little bit higher, again, he's one of those guys that he plays with, Lamar Jackson. He's gonna tote, he's gonna be beastly, but I think some of these guys at the top of the list are just gonna have more attempts because you could call it a read, and it depends on what Lamar sees. So if Lamar sees it, he's taking it, and it's completely dependent. So and you never you and I had Henry on the team. So Henry's a beast, but he's when he's with Baltimore, he puts up great numbers. Some may even have him as a top five, but I did not produce this directly. But I can see how it was produced, how we get to number 10 and Derrick Henry. I'm not mad at it. Now I will say if you do get Derrick Henry, of course you want to have you're gonna need another good back to tag along with that. But you can I think if I'm not mistaken, I think my championship roster was Derrick Henry, and then I had James Cook, who happens to be number 9 on this list. So and those two guys are guys that play with quarterbacks that are going to run the ball, but also those are guys that the quarterbacks are going to have so much focused on them that those two guys are going to be able to get open and do their thing. It's going to be something that they can that the different teams are going to work with. So I really don't have a problem with any, because once you're in the top 10, you can shuffle this around until you get into I guess the ones, because when you get into the ones, the twos, you're looking at guys that are really going to change the game. You're looking at guys that are going to bust out for 30 more multiple times in the season. You're looking at guys that are going to get so many opportunities that it's going to be really hard for them to mess it up. And then you're looking at, in today's game, you're looking at the guys that are catching the ball too. So you got, especially towards the top of the list, because the guys that are catching the ball, which Henry doesn't do a lot of, the guys which Cook does a lot of, which we're going to get into him real quick. Those guys are going to be the money guys. Number 9, Cook, James Cook from Buffalo. Good back. A good fantasy back to have. Like I said, won a championship with him last year. Does his job, but he's a guy that can break out in that offense, with it being the Josh Allen, with it being some Reed. He gets opportunities where the holes are gaping wide open, and he takes advantage of them. He gets opportunities where he's got one-on-ones with linebackers, and he's got very good hands for a running back, and he takes advantage of them. So him being at 9, honestly, that's kind of close to being a steal. If you can get either one of these, if you get any of these guys in your draft, which, unless you're drafting wild and you let someone get multiple, you should be able to get at least one or two of these guys in your draft, or one of them, I mean, in the draft. Maybe 2. It depends on who you're playing with. But James Cook is number 9. Number 8, we got Bucky Irving. You know what? I just think that whole Tampa Bay Buccaneer squad has some sleeping giant potential. But yeah, he, of course, all purpose. His is mainly because, he did have Ricard White in the backfield, but now he's looking at being the main feature back. Baker will throw him the ball. And he can make plays. We all saw the amazing play that he made for Baker, but Bucky Irving, number 8. Let's get through these so we can get more into the sleepers and the rooks. And I guess you could say we're going to talk about a little bit of team building rather than go too far into the players, because I'm more about the team building than individual players. There's a lot of players. Then we got number 7. We got Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor is a top 5 back waiting to happen, but I just think that the team around him, everything's got to be put together, especially at the quarterback position. But I think if the quarterback plays a little bit better, or at least they just get an identity, I think we're looking at top 5 potential. The kid's a monster. Just hope for no injuries. Devon Achane, he's the guy that if you draft number 6. See, I was looking at number 6, and I think about how you want multiple backs if you got him, and if you're picking him you're probably going to be able to get multiple backs. But the reason being is because he's gonna be a back that's gonna serve you a purpose until he gets hurt. Now he get hurt on a freak play. You know what I'm saying, when it's hot, but that's rare. What I'm saying is he's probably going to develop injuries when they start having to play in cold weather. When they start having to go to these different parts of the United States that's not Miami weather. So, but that's going to be later on in the year. He's a great back to have and to backdoor with. He's a great back to have as a number two. That's going to get you a lot of points in the beginning. He's like a setup as far as your team going into playoffs and rankings. He's going to set you up for a good high ranking, but you're going to want to make sure that you have another back to replace him with, because he is going to get to a point where he's not going to do too much for you, because he's not going to be on the field, and that's just what the history says about those guys. Number 5, Christian McCaffrey, again, elite running back. Only one issue with him, he may not be on the field, but he did play more last year than he has recently. I think more or less is not, it's not missing games when he misses them. Um, so he's liable to like play your whole season and then miss your playoff game. You know what I'm saying? And he's the guy that he's not finna play in the last weeks of the season. So more than likely, especially the team's doing well, he's not finna play in the last weeks of the season because they're not gonna want to get him hurt, especially now. So, but he's a good guy to have on your squad. He can carry you, but not to a championship. Christian McCaffrey is a great back to have if you're gonna alternate, wide receiver, running back in your draft slots. You get wide receiver first, get a guy that's high ranked, and then especially if you're doing serpentine, and then it jumps back around and you can get a guy like Christian McCaffrey. But if he comes up on your draft board, you got the ability to get an elite receiver or 2 elite receivers. Most definitely, most definitely. Just make sure that you have a good guy as your running back number 2, and make sure that you're gonna have a guy that can play when he gets hurt and carry that load. Ashton Jeanty, number 4, him and another rookie. He made the list at number 4. Yeah, he's probably going to be one of those guys that have four or five really, 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 really good years, and has to argue about getting his money and things, because the Raiders are about to give him that ball. Then we got Saquon Barkley at number 3. I don't really know what else needs to be said. I will say I think that I don't like handcuffing players like that, but I will say players like Saquon and Jalen Hurts and players like Josh Allen and Cooks. Those are guys that you can handcuff together, and they'll do some work for you, a lot of work for you. At number 2, probably the guy that I hope I get on my fantasy team. We got Jamar Gibbs from Detroit. Just a weapon, just a bag of points, and he's got that potential to break runs and go the distance. A la Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. They can give him a ball, the 5-yard run turns into 50-yard touchdown. So really, really good back right there at number 2. And Detroit's a good team, so he's going to be expected to put up numbers. They're going to need him to win. They're going to be in a lot of games that are probably going to be high stakes because teams are going to play them the hardest, and they got a lot to prove. Number 1, before we get into some sleepers, number 1 is going to be Bijan Robinson. He's back in the category just bag of points. It's just a bag of points. He just does everything that you need someone to do on the football field. Definitely, in my opinion, he is worthy of a first pick. I think that Penix is going to be looking for him. I think Penix is going to be looking for all of his weapons, but I think Penix is going to be looking for him. I think that with the weapons on the outside, London and company, I believe, and another guy playing tight end, hopefully. He's going to have some open lanes to run. So that rounds out the top 10. These guys are like you can't miss. If you're picking in the second round, or if you want to run it back and you get one of these top 5 guys, in the first round, and these guys are guys you want to pick up on. These are kind of no brainers though, so it's kind of like when you go over these, it's really more like a refresher. Let me pull up the sleepers. It's really more like a refresher on what's going on coming into next season. because a whole year has gone by. There's been trades, there's been a draft. So when you go over these top 10 guys, they're guys that got the names, but some of them, are coming into their own. You got to, because this has caught me in past years. You got to pay, like I said, don't go past 2 years. Like, you've got to pay attention to the last 2 years, and the guys that are playing good in the last 2 years are more than likely going to continue that trend moving forward. Now, there is well, I can just go ahead and say it before we start with wide receivers. If you have a guy, I mean, with the sleeper running backs, if you have a guy that is had a slumped year, didn't do as well, you had a guy that it just wasn't up. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't go his way, and he's had 2 years of success prior. It is really, really good, really, 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 really good to look into those guys. Because the guys that have down years, if they do have a comeback year, which a lot of the times they do, unless they're on the way out. So this is like, if let's say for some odd reason, Jamar Chase has a down year, right? Next year, pick him. Unless he drastically changes QBs or something, pick him. Because the wraparound is, so that's just a tidbit for y'all. If you're going to draft and you want to find somebody that you think no one's gonna pick, that you think people have given up on, go look up guys that have been good, and in the last year, not 2 years in a row. If they done slumped down 2 years in a row, they don't, they're done. They're done, fantasy wise, because they're just not getting the production. But the guys that have just had one bad year, whether it be injury, whether it just be a bad year, those are guys that you can count on to bounce back. So let's go over some sleepers. Let me see. All right, there they go. Okay, so these are a couple sleepers. There's one guy on here, one guy left off of here. But some of these guys could help you. Some of these aren't. Yeah, some of these guys could get skipped, but some of these ain't even the right thing. So Tajay Spears, Tennessee, always a popular pick. Um, Especially if you run into the situation where, let's say you just get crazy, and like every time your draft thing comes up, it is a cold receiver, and you end up taking like three dope receivers, right? You've basically ruined your flex option. Well, not ruined. You basically made your decision at your flex option, because you're gonna have to play that receiver. But you also have took 3 rounds, and guys have probably started plucking, depending on how your league drafts. Guys have started plucking those running backs off. This is a good guy to put on your team. Now, one guy that I think is really good to have on your team this year, um, is Chase Brown. Um, my algorithm, after doing the stats, we spit this out, and I looked at Chase Brown, and I was like, actually, yes, because again, when you have the two dynamic receivers out there, there's going to be times, and these are guys, in my opinion, if you picking these guys as your number one, you better have the best receivers and tight ends like ever. Because you completely let all the running backs go. And you're basically reaching out and looking for, a diamond in the rough, or someone that can help you out. Because these are sleepers. So you've already let the top 20 guys, you've let them pass. They're just about, or top 15, I guess you could say. You let them pass just about 12 person league. And each person's trying to get 2 or 3 back. Yeah, do the math. But Chase Brown's a good one. There's no Joe Mixon. Hasn't been. So, and then when you look at how the Bengals are going to have to play, and you look at the continuation of him being the only running back, because I have to look up a little bit more information, but I believe when you look at their team, he's going to be the guy they got to give the ball to, and you can't throw every down. They're going to throw a lot, but you can't throw every down, and sometimes T. Higgins and Chase are going to get stopped at close to the goal line. Chase Brown's a good one. He's going to get garbage points. Chase Brown is a guy that's going to get layups and garbage points and could possibly end up with 15, 10, 15-point games. And again, these are sleepers. These are guys that are not supposed to do this. So you squeeze this guy in as a flex when they play a weaker competition, you defense, then you may win something. Um, Let me see some of these. I don't have my guy on here. 1 second. Let me get him. I'm just gonna go straight to it because it just keeps flashing off in my head. The kid from Texas, Jaden Blue. I have when players like that get drafted to teams that don't necessarily need them. Teams that are put together offensive line wise, teams that have receivers, teams that already have a quarterback. Guys like that shine, and I look at guys like Rico Dowdle who had success, and I look at the way the Cowboys look to the way they say they look to be running their offense, and I think that Blue is going to be a great addition as a sleeper pick. 1 second, as a sleeper pick. So 1 second. All right, let me see. Okay. Um, Sorry about that. So let's go from the running backs to let me see. Cause I don't want to spend this already to 30. Yeah, let's go. You can you can also go what's the kid's name? 1 second. Let me get his name. Uh You got guys like Zamir White. Nick Chubb could look to bounce back. We don't know though. He's been injured. Kenneth Walker. I'm sorry. It was sitting on the tip of my tongue. I was like, who the hell? Kenneth Walker is a good back. I've had him on a fantasy team last year that actually won in another league. Um, Good back, explosive back. Zach Charbonnet's in the same backfield. So this is one of those where you pick him, but you are very cognizant of what the Seattle Seahawks are doing. Like you're like this is the guy that you're gonna have to pay attention to their trends, pay attention to last week's game. If you're looking at a game where he had like 20 touches and Zach Charbonnet only had like 10 or 15, you might want to swap him. But if you're looking at the game where he didn't have a lot of touches, Zach Charbonnet may have had more touches, but he didn't get the amount of production. You're just gonna have to follow the trend. But the kid can produce, and if he gets the ball in his hand, he's a stick of dynamite. So Travis Etienne is always Jalen Wright, good rookie pick. Another speed demon. This is like another, but this is one of those again. A chain. You could honestly go pick a stable back, and then just go pick a couple of those Miami backs that'll last you throughout the fall, and then in the winter you're gonna have to do something. Roshan Johnson, of course, that's a good pickup. Um, and then you can go with Blake Corum as another good sleeper, another guy that's going to be a good back, a little bit on the sleeper side. Um, but those are them. Now there's going to be some rookies that show out. There's going to be some rookies that pop up. I might have to cover that another time because I am running out of time. So let's go ahead and get these top 10 wide receivers. Let me see. Let's get these pulled up. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and once I get these done. Yeah, jump on the sticks for a little bit before we go to sleep, And let's see what we got going. Again, like, subscribe. We're gonna get it going. It's gonna be different topics, different all sorts of different content. But right now we're gonna get over these fantasies, get you guys set up and ready to not get your ass beat in different fantasy leagues. So the fantasy top 10 wide receivers and sleepers, let's go ahead and bring these up. Now, of course, we start with number 10. 11 slots. So now we did running backs. Talk a little bit about running backs. Couldn't go too far deep into the sleepers. It's because I'm only one man, baby. Gave you some of those. Now let's go over receivers. Now receivers again. We're gonna go to the top 10. This is bread and butter. These are the guys you're gonna have on your team. They're gonna make sure it happens. Then we can go into some sleepers. But really, like I say, I just want to get about 10 minutes to get into like the actual team building, because when you're building a fantasy team, you can know all the players you want to know, but they may not be there. So you have to know what you're trying to accomplish with your team when you put these guys together. So we're gonna start with number 10. It's George Pickens. Now George Pickens in a new place, but he's gonna have plenty of space. He's gonna play on an offense that's got CD Lamb in it, so he's already going to be able to get one-on-ones. We've seen in Pittsburgh what he was able to do one-on-ones with quarterbacks that are not as good as the quarterback he's going to be playing. No matter how you feel, how I feel, anybody feels, he's going to be playing with a better quarterback in a better offensive scheme. So Pickens is in the top 10 and he just slips in the top 10. But watching him last year, knowing the types of catches he makes, knowing what he does, is he a wide receiver one option for me? No. But he is definitely top 10, and if you end up with a powerhouse and you luck up and he's sitting there for you to make your wide receiver 2, or maybe even if you get real lucky to flex him in, like you're getting a hell of a pick. And like I said, he's playing on the other side of a guy that's going to be getting a lot of bracket coverage, a lot of different things are going to be going on. So you're going to be looking at Pickens, go get it, and he's very good at doing that. So that's number 10. Number 9, we got Nico Collins from the Texans. Now I like Nico because the usage. And he's somewhat of a security blanket. And a security blanket is a great asset to have. I love the how he fits in. He may not be the best receiver or the top one that you look at, but when you watch the Texans play and you see how their offensive run and you see CJ, he gonna find that man. And in fantasy, it's about how the offense operates. And Nico is going to get the ball. Like, unlike in Dallas, that Nico is loved in Houston. So Nico Collins comes in at number 9. That's good for number 9. Now at number 8, which might change. And it could go up or down because it's Terry McLaurin. Now, Scary Terry, I've had Scary Terry on a couple teams. He's a dweeb. You know what I'm saying? That's just his name of my fantasy team. So the Double Dweebs. He stays a dweeb. I love him. He output quick to get you 10 to 17. Has the outburst ability to get you about 25 if the defense is messing up and letting him run deep. The fact that he wants to trade and we don't know what's going to happen at the quarterback he plays with is going to be a little bit scary, but I don't think that Scary Terry, I don't think that his production would drop off if he played with a lesser quarterback. I think his production drops off if he plays with certain teams. So he's a guy that if you do draft, just be weary because you don't know what's going to happen where he goes. So again, he wants to leave, and I think that the Washington Commanders are going to get rid of him. 82 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 13 TDs. Whew! And he's a red zone weapon. Terry McLaurin coming in at number 8. Number 7, Drake London with the Falcons. 100 receptions, 1,200 yards, 9 TDs. I think that his ability to play good with the varying QBs on the roster is very D-Hop-ish. And that is a good thing. That means, one, he's going to be consistent. He's going to get you the points. He's going to get you the yards. He's going to do his job on your team. You can count on him to put up his 15 to 20, depending on how Michael Penix and the offense is running, of course, because it's a receiver. But he's a guy that you can depend on, and it's been a steady growth since he got into the league, and so now he's coming into that upper echelon of, yes, pick him because he's going to be able to get it done. I can see Drake London being a strong number 2 or on anybody's fantasy team. I also think he could be a number 1 because you got to remember, if someone's able to running back, wide receiver, and he's sitting there you go. So So Drake London's coming in at number 7. At number 6, we got Malik Neighbors. These ones are always ones that they normally get me. I like to wait for a guy to get 2 years into the league before I even start making guesses on him. But 109 receptions, 1,200 yards receiving, and then we have, what is it, 7? The 7 TDs, because his quarterback play is going to be ass, but I do think the quarterback play is going to be less ass this year, with Russell Wilson being involved. And he may not be the Russell Wilson of old, but I believe, like he was able to get Pickens the ball, he's going to be able to find ways to get Malik Neighbors the ball, and Malik Neighbors can get by the defense. Well, we know there's one thing that old Russ can do, and that's throw it to the moon. Coming in at we're getting to the top five. Like, comment. This is a discussion. Subscribe more than anything. Subscribe. Yeah, you ain't got nothing else to do. You ain't got nothing else to do but hit the bell, hit the like, make a comment. You gonna talk about it anyway with someone random, so you might as well talk about it with me, baby. You might as well talk about it with me. So get in that comment section, get lit, get live. And above all else, subscribe to the late night football fantasy. All right, so you have to raise this computer up so I can get the eye level good. So next that we're gonna have Malik Neighbors. Top 5. My bad. After Malik Neighbors, jumping into the top 5, one of my favorite young receivers in the NFL, we have Brian Thomas Jr. LSU guys, bro. LSU guys, they're just taking over. But that is the real wide receiver. Now, Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jaguars, as a rookie. Let me tell you something. 87 receptions, 1,200 yards, 10 TDs, and he finished at wide receiver number 4. Let me tell y'all, this is a guy that's coming at number 5 who could finish number 1 in points for receivers this year. Sunshine likes him. The Jaguars offense is going to boast weapons on the outside. They got Travis Hunter in the draft, so there's gonna be things going on over there the defense has to pay attention to. But this guy right here, man, this shit right here, nigga. Yeah, it's prime receiver right there. Like, we're getting into the guys the guys that you can have barring injury that will lead you to a fantasy championship. So that's Brian Thomas, number 4. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Bag of points. Detroit. Now, this is a guy that you get on your team because you know for a fact. And these guys that are coming up, I guess Brian's one of these guys too, but definitely these top 4 guys, always, they are going to get their targets. This is on some, y'all done paid me my money, so you got to throw me the ball. And stuff like that matters in fantasy. Like that stuff like that matters. So you can have schemes and everything like that, but if a guy's getting paid $20 million, he gonna get the damn ball. And if he got some skills, he gonna get some damn points. And these guys got skills and they're gonna get the ball. So at number 4, we have, I think that may be. Oh, there was a change. I like that. That's crazy. At number 4, but I see it though. At number 4, we have like I said, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, 115 receptions, y'all. 100. We've been talking about 80s. We've been, and it's points per reception, people. Points per reception. So let's PPR. 115 of them bad boys. 1,200 yards, 12 TDs. Let's say 316 total points. Let me see. It's and golf playing quarterback, spreading the ball. Throwing the ball to him, but they spread the ball. They throw the ball to him, and the moment you try to guard him, they try to go over the top. I love their offense. They try to go over the top. A lot of weapons around him. Very, 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 very hard to key in on him. Because the moment that you do, they're gonna run some play to Gibbs. He's gonna break 50. Like I said, you got Jameson running around like a chicken with his head cut off because he got crackhead speed, so he's running deep. You can't do nothing with him. So very, very good pick. But again, 115 receptions, y'all. That is not changing unless he gets hurt. Knock on wood. because that boy right there is a target. This is how much, and I want you to pay attention. Like again, 115. I want y'all to pay attention to why I'm like 115. That means he's catching it everywhere, at screens, and if you watch the Detroit Lions play, then you see this. Like he's getting the ball. It's not. It don't matter if it's a 5-yard dig, a 6-yard slant, a 9-yard. It don't matter. He's going to run every route on the route tree and try to get the ball. He may not pop the top off the defense, but that's okay because he's gonna get red zone targets as well. That's where he got them 12 TDs. Number 3 on the list, which may make people say, who's number 2 then? And who's number 1? Number 3 on the list is Justin Jefferson. 103 receptions. He did have a little bit of an injury. I think he had a little bit. Did he have injuries last year? I think so. I know his quarterback got hurt. He was playing with Sam. Young quarterback supposed to come back. We don't know what the young quarterback's going to do. Justin Jefferson, people can argue back and forth about the top 3 guys. Yes, I'm gonna say 3 when I mention other year, but most people just say Chase or Jefferson. I think there's a third guy in there, and if you look at the stats, it'll prove that is a fact. But Justin Jefferson, Vikings, y'all know what it is, bro. Got game. He got game. He gonna make it happen. Like I said, 103 receptions, 103. I know things. 103. We talking what? 12 more receptions? 12. Detroit gives that man Amon the ball. 115, but he got 100 yards. So the yards, only 10 TDs. Like I said, we had other things going on. Number 2, CeeDee Lamb. Does that make you mad? Does that make some people? And I didn't do this. This is not this. Like I said, this is an algorithm that is developed through a lot of commentary, through a lot of stats, through a lot of film, through a lot of everything. We're taking everything into account. So, and injuries and everything like that. So CeeDee Lamb, healthy. Paid. 101. Again, 115 is crazy. 101 receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 TDs. Now, why is CD higher? One, his quarterback play is going to be better. Or we assume it is. Healthy Dak. Go look at the last time Dak came back from injury. Healthy Dak is normally pretty good Dak. You got Pickens on the team. So defenses are going to do what they can. And again, he's the guy that, not to the point of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Well, actually, yeah. He is. They are not they're not the same. How can I put this? Some guys are going to run route. We want to post. We want, deep routes. We want outs. They're going to run 10 yards. And these guys like CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, they're like, dude, I'll run a 5-yard drag. Just throw me the ball. Like, we could do some slant. Like, we're not going to be sitting here hoping that we throw it to CD on a deep bomb every play. We're going to literally watch a drive of 10 plays and CD gets the ball 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? 4 of them. And one of them may be the touchdown on the play. A lot of 5 to 8 yard catches, TDs will be involved though, because when they get in the red zone, he's gonna get his opportunities. You're just gonna have to hope that Dak does it in timing that works with the public. Dak has a way of getting to the goal. Throw him to tight end. And then again, like I said, sleeper running back Blue. Gotta watch for that too. Didn't mean to rhyme, but sometimes you're a poet, you don't even know it. Jamar Chase, Jamar Chase is gonna be the number 1 receiver. I think we all knew that. Like, I don't think there's gonna be a reason for someone to not pick him this year as the number 1. I don't think there's a reason why, if he's on your board and you're available and you're picking high, he's the number 1 pick. If he's the number 1 pick, if he's available, he covers everything. He's got a quarterback that loves him, is going to throw him the ball. He's got a quarterback that's going to force him the ball if need be. He's got an offense that's built around him. He plays on a team that does not have a good defense, and so that team is going to be winning a lot of high-scoring games. I would still put him. I would put him as wide receiver 1, and I would expect him. I would expect him to continue. We have one, like, this is 115 is crazy, but when you look at the things, Jamar, like I said, the quarterback is going to find him. This is why he's number one. It's fucking ridiculous what this guy does. 127 yards reception, 1,700 yards overall, or 127 receptions. 127. Like Joe Burrow was finding him, and this is on a team where T. Higgins is making Pro Bowl. This is crazy. This is on a team with like so when you. Like this is a guy that yes I believe in it, and it's gonna be in a even more pressing situation this year. The guy's gonna catch 120 balls this year for sure. For sure, he's catching 120 balls this year. He's probably gonna go over 1,500 yards, receiving yards. I don't know if he's gonna win the Triple Crown again. And he had 17 TDs. I think he's gonna be in the teens again, just because that's the way his quarterback operates. That's the way his offense is going to get it done. They depend on them two so heavily. Let me finish this up. It's almost 11 o'clock, and I feel like playing the game. Let me see. All right, and those two that are with me, love you, praise God, let me be with you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for watching, sticking with me. You know what I'm saying? Because when it blows, y'all gonna still be there. I'm like, I remember you too. I think I know who the two is. Let me see something real quick. So, and if I don't know who the two is, I love you the same. Wendell Robinson from the Giants. We just like it's basically that one, and this is the curation of the stats and probabilities and all that good stuff. I'm going to say that he's more of a pick just because you're going to be looking at a team. Sometimes in fantasy, you don't always want to look at the team that's going to be winning. You want to look at a team that's going to be throwing when it comes to receivers. You don't want to look for a team that's going to be winning. You're going to be looking for a team that's going to be throwing. So I always say this. If I can't get one of the top guys that's on a winning team, one of the one options, then I'm automatically going to the losers and seeing who puts up the most stats on the loser teams. Because when you start losing, you have no choice but to throw the ball to your weapons, and that accumulates points in fantasy. Which I know some people are like, that's why we don't even like y'all watching, because y'all fantasy guys don't even care about wins and losses. We do, but just for the teams that we like. For the fantasy, we just want our players to get the dub. So we don't. If you can run for 250 yards and a loss, if you can catch 100 yards, 10 balls and a loss. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, do it, please. Do it. If I don't like the team, I'm the type of guy, you know, if you know me, you know me. I start watching me. If it's not going down, I start saying, just throw the ball to that guy. Just fuck it. We got to get him as many fantasy points, and we got to get him his check at the end of the year, so just throwing the ball. Sorry teams with good receivers that have to throw are fantasy diamonds. Let me tell you how many times I have smuggled my way into a fantasy championship just because I went to the sorry teams and found the number one, number two receiver on that team, number three, sometimes a slot guy, and they have came through in big ways and got points because those teams are always throwing, always getting rid of the ball. After Wendell Robinson, we got Josh Downs. Now, this is a sleeper. I just like Josh Downs. Liked him at North Carolina. Like his game. Like the way he's built for the NFL. Now, the only thing about me that frightens me about it is the fact that we got to deal with the fact that his quarterback is Anthony Richardson. Now, having Anthony Richardson as your quarterback is very, very, very cumbersome because one, you don't know if he's gonna play, and two, you don't know what he's gonna play like. You know what I'm saying? So that's just that right there is the pick. That pick itself really does not have anything to do with Josh Downs himself. That sleeper pick is basically going to be like, do you believe that the Colts are going to be able to produce the quarterback smoking dick? That's pretty much what you're going to like, because either Anthony Richardson is going to be what he's supposed to be, or he's going to smoke some dick. A lot of people I know that are really good at fantasy think that he's going to be S-ing in the D. But Josh Downs, I do think it's a quality pick. If you already got like, don't blow your draft too, people. Like, don't go out there and like put yourself in a position where you're picking sleepers to be your ultimate starters. Like, don't bend over on yourself. Like, you don't do that to yourself. Josh Downs is the guy that you're gonna be ecstatic. Let's say you go into the draft, you got a high pick or you got a good pick, and you get one of the guys in the top six, seven. You know, 6. Let's say 6. Let's say you get Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know what I'm saying? And you and like Amon-Ra St. Brown in your back door with a quality number 2 receiver on the team, and you end up stumbling up and Josh Downs is a great flex guy. Great flex guy, great guy to put in if you have to sub someone out. Bye week guy. Josh Downs is a guy that is going to put up numbers. He's just not going to put up the numbers that are going to be consistent starter numbers. But for sure, you see the Colts about to play someone that may not be as good, someone that may be lacking, or you just see an opportunity at DB for them to make it hot. Then he's the guy that you want to go ahead and have on your team. Trey Palmer from the Buccaneers. I like this pick. I think that Trey Palmer is a good pick because he gets open deep, and you have a guy in Baker who is literally lives by, if I see it deep, I'm gonna throw it deep, and we're gonna make it happen. So he's a good guy to have as a sleeper. Again, like Josh Downs, he's a guy that you don't. I like him, but I'm not a guy that's going to go for him. He's the guy that can get you catches, but he's also a person that when you look at the way that the Buccaneers play overall, if they can't find he's like a 5th option. You know what I'm saying? When you really think about it, like if you can't find Evans, or you can't find Godwin, or you can't find, I think they just get the kid. I believe they just drafted another kid. Like, so he's not going to be one of the main option. I think they have a sleeper tight end in Otten that my boy Dawes was talking about last night. So like, he's a guy that's cold, but you're literally going to be waiting for the game plan and game scheme to be written up for him perfectly and work. That's what you're going to be looking for him. Those kind of guys are good to have, but like, again, those kinds of that's hard. It's a hard one to tell. That's a hard one to tell. Now this one's a good one to me. Being a Cowboys fan, but knowing he's going to get the opportunities. Now, this is a true sleeper. This is a guy that you go get after everybody else has been picked. Don't be looking at sleep. They're sleepers for a reason. You can let them nap. Don't wake them up till it's time, till later in the draft. They sleeping. Don't do it. Like, but a good one to have. And this is one if you have a full set. So you're going through, you've already got your receivers, you got a tight end, you've got a flex. You're looking for someone that could possibly just get you some points later in the year. You're looking for a bye week guy. You're looking for a guy that's going to get deep throw opportunities. We're talking about a guy that's going to be trying to get you 30 points with only like 4 attempts. You know what I'm saying? Literally, he's trying to, or my bad, 20 points with only like 4 or 5 attempts. So he's literally catching deep balls and touchdowns only. As Jalen Tolbert, again, you got to look at schemes and the way people play. Dak is a quarterback that, one, he loves his tight ends. And number 2, he loves throwing deep to slot receivers. He loves throwing corners, fades, nines. He likes throwing deep to his slot receivers. Now, that is also because his main receiver half the time has been guys that don't really go deep. So they've been guys that do a lot of intermediate routes, short routes, get the ball and make something happen with it. So I think he's the guy. Like, again, sleeper. Let him nap. But if you have an opportunity to snag him late, get that boy on your team, because there are going to be games where you're just like, they put him in at flex. Oh, my God. He just went off for 17 just because he happened to catch a touchdown and about 3 catches from that. You know what I'm saying? Or 4 catches for over 10 yards. You know what I'm saying? So guys like that are good to have on their team. Now, this one, I'm not going to lie to you. It's one that a lot of people may agree with me with, but I have given up on. I will not ever draft Packer wide receivers again ever since Devontae left and Aaron Rodgers is gone, because Love is a fantasy wide receiver's worst nightmare. He spreads that motherfucker around. Believe me, I experienced it last year. I had like 4 receivers off their team on my team. And I ended up winning a championship, but it was too cumbersome. That was in the Yahoo League, I believe. But it was just way too cumbersome. I was trying, like, is it Watson? Is it Dobbs? Was it Dobbs? I think it's Dobbs. Like, I'm over there, like, trying to check which one's which. And then if you mess up, the day you mess up, the guy on your bench get 25. So I personally, and I think Let me see. Yeah, I think he took away some points in the 24 season. So it's just those are guys that I just he's a good receiver. This is nothing against Tavian Wicks. It's nothing against him as a player, but I'm not messing with any type of wide receivers that play with quarterbacks that spread it around. Not my thing. Um, I want a quarterback to be glued to you. I remember back in the teens of the years, so 2014, 15, all those years, you can ask a lot of people that play with me. I was stuck on Baldwin for the Seattle Seahawks. It's like, why? Because Russell throws him the damn ball. Like, he just, it finds him every Sunday or Monday or Thursday. That ball is going to him. He's got like Hut. I'm looking for him. So those are my favorite type of guys. And when I run into quarterbacks that don't do that, and quarterbacks like you may not win you a Super Bowl, but it damn sure win you a couple fantasy games. We got another rookie, Jermaine Burton. I think when you're picking a Bengals slot is literally like playing Russian roulette. It is. It's too much to watch out for. You got Higgins getting the ball. You got Chase doing his thing. Um, and it's just too much. It's just too much. Puka is actually, yes, Puka is a sleeper on. He's actually. Oh no, he didn't. He's actually the sleeper of the sleepers. Which is crazy because I actually have him for sure. Say, what's up, Ghost? But I for sure would have Puka in there. I'm glad you added that one because he did get left out. But I think he got left out just because of the roller coaster that is the Rams. Just the team overall. But having a quarterback like that, now I think people are going to be a little bit bullish on him or like step back a little bit because he doesn't have Obedi on the other side. Oh shit, forgive me, Cooper. He didn't have Cooper Rush on it. Not what is his name? Damn, I said Cooper Rush. Uh, let me see. See, I'm over there. I forgot his name. It was on the tip of my tongue. Um, who was it? Let me see. Cooper Cup. My bad. Um, so yeah, Cooper Cup leave. Now I don't even know if it's a sleeper. I have him in the sleep. No, no. Now Puka is definitely should have been a sleeper's Cup. Cup may be like guys like Cup, guys like Devontae Adams. Um, don't I mean if they're there, not too early, pick them. But these are guys that are on shaky ground. They're on shaky ground because you don't know what this new year is gonna hold. Now I do think Devontae Adams may be a little bit safer. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of staying away from him. I don't. I like he's a little bit older. I know Matthew Stafford's gonna try to get him the ball, but Matthew Stafford already has chemistry with Puka, so I'm. That's on y'all. Y'all got it. If you want to tell me, hey man, he's a superstar, don't you can copy that popularity shit if you want to. Now the next sleeper I love is Traylon Burks. Love him from Tennessee, especially with the introduction of Cam Ward. Um, I think Mr. Burks is gonna light it on fire as long as he can stay healthy. That I don't know how much the Titans are gonna do as a team overall, but he's another guy that can get deep. But he also is a yak machine. Guys like that are easy to get the ball to. Guys that have to go deep, run posts, and do it, it's hard to get them the ball because there's too much risk involved, too much things you got to do to get them the ball. So a guy like him is really, really good to have on your team. Maybe looking like a wide receiver 3, but he's going to be one of the most explosive players on their offense. And I guarantee you, he will get open. Guarantee it. Stamp it. He's going to be a great receiver, especially a sleeper. Now, here's another guy. Again, had this guy, Romeo Dobbs. I don't have a problem with him to play. He's awesome. So is Watson. But I'm telling y'all, if you're gonna be dealing with the Packers, you're gonna be dealing with research. Like that's why these guys are sleepers. It's because they're cold enough to be wide receiver ones. They're cold enough to lead your team, but they're on a team where you don't know what Jordan's gonna do. You don't know what Love's gonna do. You have no idea what Love is gonna do. Do we ever? But you don't know what Love's gonna do. So what is the I stay away from teams where a quarterback has more than 4 options to throw to like that. Unless the quarterback shows I'm giving it. Those teams are cold and they're gonna be better, but shit, I need you to be targeting the motherfucker 15 times a game. Number 3. Now this is one that I was looking like sleeper. And I didn't really. And Puka actually is the one I forgot this year. Puka's the first guy, so we're not even. But Lad McConkey, I think that he actually could have slipped in the top 10. I think just the nature of the Chargers offense and the fact that they're going to be trying to run the ball mostly with the Jim Harbaugh, unless something changes. They're going to be running the ball a whole lot. So I think that's how he missed out of the top 10. But I think Lad McConkey is your new Julian Edelman. He's going to be getting a lot of high volume targets. Finds a way to get open, a lot of catches. Again, points per reception. He's a guy that can break, but I think he's more of a guy you're going to get consistent targets from him, and he gets open. So he may be a guy that has a whole lot of catches, not a lot of yards, but gets you some points. But I damn sure myself, I think Lad McConkey can be a second receiver on your team. I really do. I don't think he's sleeper. I don't think you do. We have Puka at number 1. Thanks for Ghost for pointing that out. We're gonna put Puka at number 1. Now I'm gonna name the guy that was up here because that is a glitch on the system's part. Now, I want to say thank you, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Please, we're gonna come back with more content. I will have my boys with me at some point the next show or next time we talk about fantasy. I will be back tomorrow after I work. I'm going to be back and I'm going to show y'all or give y'all a look into my sleeper draft. There's a draft I won last year, a fantasy football draft I won last year. There's a bunch of gamers in it that play Madden and 2K and college football and things like that. So we're going to live stream that draft. I'm going to get that set up so that y'all can see kind of how I draft. Because I've noticed like everybody does things kind of different, but I'm kind of sporadic. I don't go off of player name. I go off of position and what it can do for me because I find that you can make as many draft, and I'll leave you with this. You can make as many draft boards, or not leave you, I got one more announcement. You can have as many draft boards as you want, but when there's a flip in the draft and something happens, you see so many guys like, oh, what happened? Like it was like maybe it may have been like 7 years ago. I purposely drafted my homeboy like Andrew Luck. I purposely drafted Andrew Luck. And it like scrambled the rest of his draft. He was like screaming in the other room, like, you motherfucker. Like he was so pissed, but it messed up his whole like and I was like, damn. And Andrew, that was the year Andrew Luck got hurt too. I deserved all of that karma. But what you call it? But you don't want that to happen to you where you're like, I was dead set on Jamar Chase. No. Get dead set on a top 3 wide receiver. Get dead set on a guy that's gonna produce those points. Like me personally, I fill out my draft board. I know I get my draft board ready by studying the players, but then I let myself know, what are you gonna do here? You going, what are you going to try to build? The wide receiver, running back. What we doing? A lot of people try to, I try my best to make a real decision. Because if you try to go wide receiver, running back, your team might be scrambled. Go heavy. Running back. Like, if you have a chance to get one of these quarterbacks that's going to get you like 30, like I had Josh Allen on the team. I took him early. I wasn't finna sit there and parse words and go back. I think I took him in like the 2nd or 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? Wide receiver, running back, super quarterback. Get you a big 3. Or a real good one is running back. I cannot lie to you. I have not seen a person fail that goes top running back, and then let the shit play out. Believe me. You get 2 top running backs, you're going to probably win your league. Now, it's up to your league not to let you do that, but I'm telling you, One of my favorite, or wide receiver, running back. That's actually my favorite wide receiver, running back. Or wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. I did that last year and won 2 championships. Wide receiver, running back was a good one. But you do miss out on some guys that you have to stay fast and be strong with your draft. All right, so that was top running backs, top wide receivers. We threw some sleepers in there. Like I said, I'm gonna do a stream of draft tomorrow for the 3 amigos that joined me and the one that was going in and out. Love you. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're gonna do this to the very end. We will not stop until we succeed. Now what I'm gonna do, if you like the content, I'm about to hop on this college. I think I'm gonna stream because they did test my OBS a little bit more. So I'm gonna hop on this college. 26. If you want to watch, you know what I'm saying? It's Big 30 the Truth. Big 30 TTGTD. Just go to Twitch and type in Big 30. It's probably just me and the guy that raps. But what's up, Kingmaker? You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. You know, we're gonna get it going. Check out the stream though. We're getting it live tonight, and tonight is gonna be me working on trying to develop a blitz. So we're gonna get that in, and just, you know, trying to make the college football national championship playing randoms. Got the league coming up. Hope to see all, especially y'all two in the comments. I really hope to see y'all in it. Break my heart if you weren't. We got a lit Discord going. For those of y'all that's catching it late, for those that catch a clip, if you're into college football 26 and you just want a league that's gonna be good for streaming, you know what I'm saying? Love it. So I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm gonna jump off this. And I'm gonna jump on the college to start streaming. I'm gonna holler at y'all in about 10 minutes. I've been sitting here for an hour and 7 minutes. I gotta poop. Just to be honest. And I'm not ready for NFL Red Zone yet, because he goes like 17 hours without shitting or pooping or even looking like he got to. But I'm gonna be on college stream. Give me about 5 to 10 minutes, and I will be back. Much love to everybody that's watching. Keep it going. Again, we will not stop until we succeed. Be throwed like David. Be strong like David. Let's get it.